Spider-Man meets with the Avengers as he notices Ash Williams talking with Captain Marvel and the Wasp. Colonel America urges Spider-Man to take Ash away. Spider-Man proceeds to take Ash away, but Ash screams at Spider-Man saying, "The newspaper was right about you. You are a menace." As Spider-Man is arguing with Ash, he quickly turns around and notices that something terrible has occurred. A zombified sentry has fallen from the sky and proceeds to infect all the Avengers one by one. The Avengers are turned into zombies within seconds and start to devour the humans around them. Before the zombies are able to eat a woman, Spider-Man rushes in and saves her. He proceeds to swing her home where she can be safe. Ash tells Spider-Man that his friends are gone and they need to find a safe place to be because the end has begun. Spider-Man reassures Ash, saying there's always a way and things always work out in the end. In a brief moment, Colonel America has seemingly been following Spider-Man and bites down on his shoulder. As Spider-Man is bitten, he drops Ash in an alleyway where the other zombified heroes find him. We pick up with all the zombies arguing over who gets to eat Ash, but Spider-Man yells at them saying he gets dibs or else he'll eat Hawkeye's head. Black Widow tells Spider-Man that he shouldn't do that because they all taste horrible. Colonel America tells everyone to stop arguing and let Spider-Man have this one. Spider-Man continues to take Ash away with him on top of a building. Ash then proceeds to punch Spider-Man, telling him to get away from him. Spider-Man tells Ash to calm down as he fixes his jaw. Spider-Man also tells Ash how his blood might be slowing down the infection. As Ash and Spider-Man look down on the streets, Ash mentions how anyone who goes outside isn't safe. This quickly reminds Spider-Man that Mary Jane and Aunt May are in danger. Spider-Man quickly sprints away and swings off, leaving Ash on top of the roof. Spider-Man comes home to his apartment, telling Mary Jane and Aunt May that he needs help. Aunt May rushes to get some medicine. Mary Jane tells Peter that she's scared and has never seen anything like this. Peter hunches over, puking and grunting. Mary Jane tries to help Peter, but Peter says to stay back and that his stomach is in pain. Peter proceeds to lash at Mary Jane and eat out her pussy and devour her. Aunt May walks in and asks if everything is okay. Peter turns around and yells at her to go into the bathroom and lock the door. Moments later, Nova comes to check on Spider-Man and sees that he's completely devoured both Mary Jane and Aunt May. Spider-Man notices Nova and screams at him not to look at him. Spider-Man jumps at Nova out the window. Nova yells at Spider-Man saying, "What did this to you?" with Spider-Man telling Nova to shut up and die. Something hits Spider-Man in the back of his head. It turns out to be Daredevil. Daredevil tells Nova that they have to kill Spider-Man. Nova hesitates. Before Daredevil could do anything else, Spider-Man bites Daredevil on his back, leaving Nova in absolute distraught. At this point, Spider-Man's story is over in the Dead Days storyline, but there are a few more things we can go over and discuss. For instance, later on it's seen that both Spider-Man and Daredevil are eating people on the streets. It's also seen that Spider-Man went to the Daily Bugle to eat J. Jonah Jameson. At one point when the heroes are fighting the infected heroes, it's seen that Spider-Man is present. He most likely infected a lot of other heroes. As we can see, one of those heroes was most likely the Scarlet Witch. After escaping the Fantastic Four, Ultimate Reed Richards finds himself in a different part of the city. Out of nowhere, he is met with very large webbing. He is then greeted by Zombie Spider-Man, who starts to wonder how they could have missed him. I know we just started, but that's about it for Zombie Spider-Man and Ultimate Fantastic Four. I'll give you a brief synopsis on what happens right before the next arc. The Magneto of Zombie Earth helps Reed escape the zombies and helps him get home. By doing that, Magneto has to stay behind and let the teleporter get destroyed so no one can follow. The explosion from the teleporter caused many zombie heroes and villains to die in the process. After the teleporter is destroyed, Magneto is left behind with the remaining zombie heroes. Spider-Man says that they should all get a piece of him and eat him slowly. Of course, Magneto fights back and manages to knock away the majority of them, but not Spider-Man or Colonel America. As Spider-Man and Colonel America chase Magneto, Spider-Man falls off the building and his legs get detached from his body. Magneto eventually overpowers the heroes, eventually almost escaping until the Wasp gets after him and bites him on the neck. Every hero there starts ripping Magneto to shreds and gets a piece of him. As the zombies are done eating Magneto, believing he was the last survivor, Spider-Man jokingly asks if anyone can fix his broken leg. A few seconds later, Spider-Man begins to break down screaming how he ate his aunt and wife. He begins to scream about wanting to die, with Giant Man telling him to shut up. Luke Cage stops both of them and points out how he saw something in the sky. It's Silver Surfer. The heroes meet up with Iron Man, and Tony asks Spider-Man how his aunt and wife are doing, causing Spider-Man to once again break down and freak out. A few moments later, Silver Surfer comes down to the heroes and warns them that the Galactus is on his way to devour the world. Spider-Man and the other heroes just kinda stare at him. Not even a second later, all the heroes begin to attack Silver Surfer. Spider-Man stays back because of his broken leg and proceeds to just rip it off completely. Bruce Banner turns into the Hulk, screaming out how he's hungry and jumps at Silver Surfer. Spider-Man jokingly says, "Knock yourself out." With Hulk killing Silver Surfer, him, Luke, and Cap each start eating him. Spider-Man tries his best to rush over, saying how he can't miss out on this. Iron Man, who is ripped in half, begs Spider-Man to help him get some too. Giant Man grabs both Iron Man and Spider-Man, and all three begin to share a piece of Silver Surfer. Just to note that the only zombies that ate the Silver Surfer were Giant Man, Hulk, Luke Cage, Colonel America, Iron Man, and Spider-Man. Colonel America learns that the 6 of them gain Silver Surfer's abilities, and Giant Man says maybe the non-cosmic heroes taste better if they're more crispy. After Spider-Man and the other 5 zombie heroes are done killing the non-cosmic zombies, they are quickly met with Galactus, who states that Earth is his to consume. After Galactus starts blasting at them, Spider-Man convinces the other zombies that they are not winning this and that they need to bail now. After the heroes retreat, Luke asks Spider-Man why he still wears his mask.
"It's all torn to shreds, just take it off."
Spider-Man explains to him that after everything they've done, what he did to his wife and aunt, he can't bear to look at himself. After some time, the heroes found a way to bring down Galactus, but are also met with the zombified villains, which starts to bring an all-out war. Both zombified Spider-Man and Venom fight it out, with Spider-Man blasting a hole through Venom. Eddie bursts out a symbiote, saying he wasn't a good enough host before quickly dying. Spider-Man proceeds to say,
"You're breaking my cold, dead heart, Eddie."
Red Skull rips out Colonel America's brain, killing him, making Spider-Man angry and killing the Red Skull. After killing all the villains, the heroes notice Galactus is still alive. Galactus mocks the heroes, saying,
"How dare you threaten Galactus?"
Wasting no time, the heroes charge at Galactus, brutally killing and eating him as he slowly dies. After this, we learn it's been 5 years, and we don't know where the heroes went exactly, until it's revealed that after eating Galactus, they gain new abilities that help them travel through space. They scour the universe, finding new worlds to feed upon. Black Panther and Storm are with the Human Torch and the Thing. All 4 of them teleport to where the Marvel zombies are in their universe and meet a zombified Luke Cage, where a fight breaks out between them. Like I said, very brief. Now that you're all caught up, let's continue the story of Marvel Zombie Spider-Man.
Come on, you couldn't think of a better hiding place than that? I didn't even need my cosmic abilities to find you, or even Spidey sense. I saw your feet. Don't they have a version of hide and go seek here? You guys need to step up your game. Not that it would help. With great power comes great hunger.
The Marvel zombies run into an infected bug. They decide they're going to kill it since it's taking all their food. Luke Cage returns from battling the Fantastic Four, and the Marvel zombies continue to poke fun at each other and tell jokes. Luke Cage mentions how the Fantastic Four he saw are from another dimension, and that they can use their device to travel to different dimensions and feed upon those. The zombies begin to praise Luke Cage. After some time, the zombies find the Fantastic Four and order them to give them the transporter.
He's got a point. Maybe we should promise a quick and painless death, as opposed to being eaten alive. Oh Lord, Listen to us. Do you hear how far we've fallen? We used to beat up people who talk like this. Now we're the worst ones.
Luke Cage tells Spider-Man to man up because they gotta eat. After Spider-Man keeps whining, the Fantastic Four teleport away with all the Marvel zombies getting annoyed at Spider-Man. After some time, the zombies are looking for more survivors they can eat. But soon they come across an old foe, Thanos. The zombies are confused on why Thanos of all people are here. Thanos proceeds to introduce them to Lady Death. Thanos tells the zombies that his life goal was to end all life in the universe and that they stand in his way of that goal. Thanos offers them that the zombies can finally rest in peace. The zombies are not happy with this request.
Not me! I've had it! The guilt is unbearable! I want it all to end! Now! Please, I beg you. Actually, I don't think this is tightening at all. Not that I have spider smell or anything, but I think it's Skrull meat.
The zombies use their new cosmic abilities to make the planet explode, leaving them in the middle of space. It's been 40 long years, and Giant Man says that this is it. They've eaten everything as they stand at the edge of the universe. Apparently, Hulk and Thanos have beef with each other, which leads Hulk to smash Thanos' head in. Giant Man tells everyone that he vaguely remembers that the zombie Fantastic Four used a portal to hop dimensions to another world. Giant Man says they need to head back to Earth to find it. Later, Luke asks Spider-Man why he's being quieter than usual. Spider-Man says that he's feeling strange and that the hunger is starting to fade. Soon they actually find something else to eat. Ego the living planet. Spider-Man continues to annoy Giant Man by saying, "Are we there yet?"
So, are we there yet? Okay, that's it! How many times have I told you to cut that out? How many? 10? 20? It's not funny! Nobody's laughing! It's not... Lordy, talk about not being able to take a joke. Luckily, I've been keeping my web fluid in reserve in case of situations just like this. I'd fucking kill you!
The other zombies try calming Giant Man down, with Giant Man stating that he wishes he killed Spider-Man years ago. Spider-Man yells at Giant Man saying that they deserve the worst after all they've done. Giant Man just shrugs him off. Luke asks Spider-Man why he keeps making those stupid jokes. There's not exactly any villains around. Spider-Man says he still tells jokes to keep his mind off all the horrible things they've done. He can never not know what he is doing is wrong because they'll all be no better than the villains they fought all those years ago. If they lose sight of that, they truly are monsters. After weeks of returning to Earth, the zombies come home to find that there is an entire living civilization in Wakanda. With no hesitation, Hulk jumps in and starts eating as many people as he can. Giant Man tells everyone to stop because if they are smart about this, they can turn this place into a breeding camp. Spider-Man blasts Giant Man's forehead off, screaming at him, saying that they were once heroes and that they can't do this anymore. Spider-Man won't let them kill any more people. Giant Man proceeds to say, "Kill this twit." As a war breaks out between the zombies, Luke and T'Challa help Spider-Man fight them off, with T'Challa putting up the shield barriers around the village. Unfortunately, Gladiator got inside with them. Spider-Man pleads with Gladiator not to kill the humans because he was once a hero too, but Gladiator shuts him up saying how Spider-Man ate his people, so now he's going to return the favor. Spider-Man jumps at Gladiator, leading to Gladiator almost ripping Spider-Man in half. Eventually, Spider-Man manages to take Gladiator down with the help of Luke Cage, T'Challa, and Forge in an Iron Man suit. Giant Man says that they didn't come to Earth for this, and the zombies outside the barrier leave Wakanda for good. After some time, Forge and a scientist in Wakanda help get the zombies repaired with some robot parts. T'Challa asks Spider-Man why the zombies returned, and Spider-Man says that they were trying to look for a transporter that Reed Richards used to travel dimensions. It turns out that Forge had actually found it years ago and brought it to Wakanda so he could figure out how to use it. Spider-Man screams at him saying, "Why would you bring it here? This is exactly what they're after." T'Challa says that they don't have the strength or numbers if the zombies return, and the scientist says he has a solution for that. It turns out that the scientist found Captain America's brain and put it into the dead body of T'Challa's son. The zombies eventually return to Wakanda knowing that they have the teleporter. T'Challa makes a deal with them and they'll let them use the teleporter if they just leave Wakanda alone. The zombies accept the deal. Right after the shields go down, an all-out war breaks out with T'Challa putting the shields right back up around Wakanda. It turns out Iron Man got in, however. As the fight continues, Spider-Man webs Phoenix in the face, causing her to rage out on him. Eventually, Spider-Man and Luke get the upper hand on her. Soon after, Bruce Banner lowers the shields and the zombies start rushing in, but before Giant Man is about to eat a woman, he stops, saying that the hunger is gone. Giant Man stops everyone, saying that since the hunger is gone, they won't eat anyone else, and that he wants to form a truce.
Stop, big guy! You don't have to do this! No, Hulk have to eat! I'm starving! Hulk hate Firewoman! Firewoman tried to hurt Hulk! So Hulk tried to hurt Firewoman! Why stop Hulk from eating? Hulk hungry! You make Hulk angry too! Don't make us kill you! Giant Man can get bigger than Hulk, but not stronger than Hulk. Hulk wants to be left alone. United we stand. Leave Hulk alone.
The scientist sacrifices himself to Hulk to eat him so Hulk can turn back into Bruce Banner. All the zombies gather around Bruce and blast his head off. After all the destruction with the Hulk, the zombies remember the fallen heroes who died and buried them in Wakanda. Giant Man and a civilian explain to the other zombies that it was actually easy to get the teleporter working again. However, Giant Man says that they should destroy it for good so the infection doesn't spread to other worlds. The other scientist tricks the zombies and uses the teleporter to send every single zombie to a different world, including T'Challa. We open up with the Watcher explaining to us all the events we had seen thus far. As he is done explaining, he watches as Spider-Man is transported to another Earth, one that was a lot like his before the outbreak.
Malcolm, don't do it! Wait, where am I? This doesn't look like New Wakanda. I guess Malcolm and Forge perfected Reed Richards' interdimensional portal, like they said. They must have sent me to some other world. A vibrant world too, unpolluted by our kind. The Manhattan I come from is ruined husk, like the carcass of some hollowed out animal. All thanks to us, me, Giant Man, Wolverine, the other quote-unquote super zombies. I should get the lay of the land, see if any of them got teleported to this world too. Force of habit. Filled these skyscrapers, I almost tried to use my organic web shooters, but they dried up right after I died. Fortunately, I still have the cosmic flight powers I swallowed from Galactus. No! My cosmic powers, what happened to them? My veins and arteries! This suit is incredibly painful, but beggars can't be choosers. One of my molecules were reassembled in this world. The cosmic energies that changed them must have not come with me. Or at least, that's the only reasonable explanation I can think of. Oh well, I'll have to make do with the powers I already have, I suppose.
Damn, something stinks.
The date on this paper, it's years ago. Back when the living Peter Parker was in college. I seem to have been teleported in time as well as in space. Wait, this I remember. Both of the city's mob leaders, Kingpin and Silvermane, were after this tablet, which, if properly deciphered, reveals the key to eternal youth. I don't believe my luck! It's some kind of sign! If I get to the tablet first, unlock its secret myself. Maybe I can get rid of myself of this curse. I can become a hero again. Redeem myself for eating my wife, Mary Jane, and my Aunt May from my home dimension at the start of the outbreak. Even more importantly, I can rid the world of the zombie plague forever. I've got to get my hands on that tablet now.
We cut to this world's Peter Parker walking with his friends Harry, MJ, and Gwen. All of them are just having fun walking onto campus. Zombie Spider-Man can be seen watching them but keeping a closer eye on this world's Mary Jane. Zombie Spider-Man states how he forgot how young, beautiful, and alive Mary Jane is. He states how he loved the feeling of her blood rolling down his chin, and how he just wants to swing down there and rip her throat out again. Peter calms himself down and tells himself to control the hunger. He quickly switches the subject to try to find the tablet. Not even a second later, this world's Sinister Six comes out to attack the citizens on campus. This world's Peter rushes out to change into Spider-Man. Zombie Spider-Man tells himself that he has to save everyone, so he jumps in to try to fight this world's Sinister Six. However, when he jumps in, he seems to be losing control of the hunger.
My cyber senses are tingling. They detect the presence of meat. Warm living meat. Creamy, pretty center.
After brutally killing Kraven and Mysterio, Zombie Spider-Man proceeds to kill the rest of the six. He electrocutes Doc Ock with Electro and rips Vulture's arms and wings off to slash Electro's head off. Sandman is terrified and confused and yells at Spider-Man that he isn't supposed to do this. He's the good guy. Sandman proceeds to run off in fear. We cut to this world's Kingpin, who found the tablet. He notices Zombie Spider-Man and proceeds to rip his shirt off and jump at him, which leads to Zombie Spider-Man eating him too. We cut to Sandman still running away until he encounters his world's Spider-Man. Remember, Sandman doesn't know that there are two different Spider-Men in his world right now. Sandman goes insane and starts screaming at Spider-Man, saying that if he doesn't care about life, he won't hold back. This world's Spider-Man mentions how his spider sense is going completely out of control, saying how Sandman is out for his blood. Sandman proceeds to beat the living hell out of Spider-Man until he goes fully bloodlusted. Okay, this part is extremely dark and graphic, so if you think it'll make you uncomfortable, I would recommend skipping to this time. Sandman forcefully pours himself into Spider-Man, and Spider-Man begins to fall over and start choking. As Spider-Man struggles to stand on his feet, he starts losing his mind and cries out for Gwen. Spider-Man explodes with his organs, bones, and sand pouring out of him. Sandman leaves his remains in the alleyway.
So good. I know I promised myself I wouldn't fight them like this, but the hunger just took over. Maybe I can only feed on the bad guys. Did Morbius the living vampire try that once? That way, no innocent people get hurt. I stave off the hunger from time to time. Everybody's happy. Of course, that's just temporary. Soon I'll have the tablet, and I'll be normal again. A real hero. What is... No. Stop! What are you doing? Those were my friends! I was going to save them! Despite my best efforts and good intentions, I failed. Not only are all my loved ones dead, but the tablet is gone. The exhibit hall was broken into while I was busy trying to prove to myself what a hero I was. What a joke. A hero? Me? With this face? Face it, Parker, you'll never be human again. Never. There's nothing but the hunger and unlife. Forever and ever and ever and ever and ever. What use is this face? This useless, rotting face. No one is left to love more than Peter Parker, so I never want to look at him again. Why don't things ever seem to turn out right for me? Why do I seem to hurt people, no matter how much I try not to? Is this the price I always pay for being Zombie Spider-Man?
It's been 2 years since the incident with Spider-Man. Kitty Pryde is seen running from a group of ninjas when she is met by Zombie Wolverine. Zombie Wolverine jumps at Kitty Pryde, but she phases through him. Wolverine then eats the ninjas that were chasing her. After he is done eating the ninjas, he quickly turns around for the main course. That's when we see Zombie Spider-Man jump in and throw Zombie Wolverine through a wall, saving Kitty Pryde.
This is gonna sound corny, kid, but Come with me if you want to live.
Spider-Man swings off with Kitty Pryde, and she asks him what's going on and what happened to Wolverine. Spider-Man says that he's your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man, and that's not the Wolverine she knows. Spider-Man explains that the Wolverine she saw is from his world, and explains that him and that Wolverine are from a different dimension. Spider-Man says he'll tell her everything once they get to his lab.
You see, it all started with a flash in the sky. Once the infection spread through the superhuman community, the world was done. Spread was global and it was complete. Everyone died. Everyone. If these monsters had their way, all the time and space would have been a buffet for them, an endless orgy of gluttony and destruction. They were that close. They were ready to step into another world, a new feeding ground. Maybe it was the unpredictable cosmic powers coursing through their bodies, or maybe it was the flittering buffers of the transporter. But when Zombie Wolverine appeared in your world, he no longer possessed the power of Cosmic. The loss of those energies made the infected Wolverine paranoid. For months he hid in the shadows, feeding only on the homeless, devouring them completely so that none of them would rise as zombies, competing for the same prey. But as time passed, his confidence returned, and now he's hunting openly. If unchecked, he could start a new plague on this world. Your world, Kitty. After I learned about this, I began working on a vaccine, a formula for controlling the virus.
You mean you can cure Wolverine?
Cure? No. Nothing can cure him. But if I'm correct, then I might be able to save him. Right now, he's trapped by the unending hungers of infection. His hunger has driven him insane. But I believe that this vaccine can dampen the fires of his appetite long enough for him to consider what he's doing and to make better choices.
Then you have to use the vaccine before it spreads.
It's not that easy. The zombie Wolverine's healing factor was overwhelmed by the infection, rendering it essentially inert. In order to create a vaccine that will return him to sanity, I'll need some matching blood from your Wolverine.
As Spider-Man is studying more of the vaccine, Kitty notices that there's a ton of flies everywhere in the room. She finds out where the smell is coming from, and phases through the wall to find...
I wish you hadn't done that, Kitty. I had hoped to spare you, but now it's time for the truth.
Kitty Pryde screams in fear. Spider-Man tries to calm her down, saying he's not going to do anything to her. Spider-Man explains that yes, he is a zombie. However, he only eats bad people, like criminals or killers. Spider-Man says he's been eating Wolverine's leftovers to keep his sanity, and that he wants to save this world. Kitty asks if how she could know this isn't a trick. Spider-Man says that she is one of the only few people that can't get infected because of her phasing ability. He gives her a sharp stick and tells her that she can just phase it through his head if he ever did try anything. Moments later, Spider-Man and Kitty find that zombie Wolverine is fighting this Earth's Wolverine. This Earth's Wolverine manages to knock out zombie Wolverine without getting infected, but immediately attacks zombie Spider-Man because he can tell that he's a zombie too. Wolverine tells him he has 1 second to explain everything to him.
And your mutant healing factor will be the catalyst.
This is nuts, even by my standards. Spider-Man gets a sample of this world's Wolverine's blood and tells both Logan and Kitty that he is going to find the others. Spider-Man proceeds to swing off with zombie Wolverine. Before we get into our last part of the story, I must go over a few things that help further the overall plot of the story. Zombie Giant Man that was transported from the transporter back on the other Earth ate this universe's Watcher and now has the power to go wherever he wants in this universe. He is also trying to find out a way to transport himself throughout the multiverse to get an infinite food source. Giant Man infects this universe's Hulk, who was heading towards Earth at the time. He's now headed there to feed. When Hulk gets back to Earth, it's absolute chaos. He's devouring everyone and everything. Now this part is absolutely crucial to the story because we are now introduced to this Earth Sentry. Sentry tried everything in his power to stop the Hulk, but quickly gets infected and turns into a zombie, joining the Hulk in this endless nightmare.
dude, this just keeps getting worse. Giant Man and I may be the same infected world, but he hasn't beaten the hunger like me. I need some backup before these guys eat all these poor innocent people, and I know exactly where to get it.
It's been 2 years since Sentry's been infected. This world, just like the previous one, is now dead. Gone and left to rot for an eternity. Spider-Man failed to save this Earth. The only remaining zombified heroes are now Sentry, Moon Knight, Quasar, Super-Skrull, Quicksilver, and Tundra. We learn that the other heroes that were transported to this Earth have all been killed. Luke Cage, Wasp, and Black Panther. And it seems many other heroes and villains were killed by the zombie team as well. We find out that Giant Man from the previous Earth is working alongside them and gathering the greatest minds on this planet, literally, and is using their intelligence to find a way to travel to other worlds. Eventually, the zombie team, we're just gonna call them that from now on, starts looking for any survivors on the planet and are discussing heading towards the Savage Land. They are soon shot down and crash land in the middle of nowhere. But who could have shot them down if all the heroes are dead? Well, it turns out Spider-Man is alive. Not well, but alive. He seems to have gathered the Hulk, Wolverine, and Iron Man on his side. And they're planning on wiping every zombie from existence. Every single one. It's an all-out war between Team Spider-Man and Team Sentry. It's pure zombified chaos. Spider-Man has something in a canister that he'll kill the zombies for sure, but he can't use it just yet. Hulk kills Tundra by ripping her in half. Quicksilver steals the canister on Spider-Man's back, but Spider-Man rips Quicksilver's head off before he can get too far. However, probably due to body shock, Quicksilver's body keeps running and running. As Wolverine is fighting Sentry, Sentry punches Wolverine away and is going to end this whole thing for good. He's going to use all his power to explode everyone. But before he could do that, Giant Man teleports everyone to the Watcher's hideout in space. Giant Man finally found the solution for the multiverse transportation. It's Sentry. His power is the key. Spider-Man and Iron Man get the canister from Quicksilver, and Wolverine slices it open to reveal...
Sand? Your secret weapon against us is sand? Are we supposed to be impressed? Tony Stark developed nanites to attack disease and decaying flesh, an anathema to our kind. Only problem with them, when Jim Rhodes brought them to me, was that you couldn't disperse them through the air. So I tracked down an old friend, insulated him with the vaccine I made from Wolverine's still-living healing factor laced blood, and laced his body with nanomachines. Bon appetit. Thank you. Thank you, Flit. Mary Jane and Aunt May are avenged.
And with that, our story finally concludes with Marvel Zombie Spider-Man. Who says he's dead? You see, the Watcher never died in this universe. He explains he cannot be killed by other universe beings. He tells both Sandman and Zombie Sentry that this problem cannot be fixed, but only contained. What is done cannot be undone. So what does the Watcher do? He sends Sentry back to the beginning, back before the zombie plague ever occurred, back on Earth 2149. The Sentry we saw first in this story is the same one from the other world. This whole time we were stuck in a paradox. Spider-Man will remain the rest of eternity suffering in a never-ending nightmare. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed our journey through the tragic life of Marvel Zombie Spider-Man.